Season 2. We are here at our season finale of the FaithCast. My name is Pastors Sonia, and today with us we have Pastor Johnnie.
It's true. I am here for the finale, and it promises to be one of the best.
Ever?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We'll see.
And we have Pastor Cody.
Yeah, I agree too. One of the best for sure.
Wow.
And Pastor Kaimana. I had to say it slow because I was afraid to say it wrong.
Don't know how to say it. Wow, you guys are confident. All right.
Well, I think
You've raised
this
the
one
bar.
might put us to the number one slot on Apple Podcasts.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It might. And before we started rolling, we were going through all the different versions of your name.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go.
And
with
there's a limit does
Promise.
not exist. Mm-hmm.
But Kaimana.
Kaimana, Harmana, Kaimani.
There's gonna be
Harmony.
people listening
Yeah,
to
I
this
know.
and say, I
I'm
didn't even know that was her
because they're
name.
gonna go, oh,
But
that's
at
how I
least now
say
they
it.
know.
Yeah. You
Well,
just call me her.
But all her sons' names, they all know her name. Kaimana.
All my kids
Pastor
know my
Kaimana.
name.
They
That's
say
the
the
praise
full
report.
title,
Yep.
Yeah.
and they got it. So
Yes.
if
They should.
4-year-olds can do it.
The Lord just
So
got
can
to the
you.
point where she called me the other day, and I said, whoa,
Oh yeah.
I'm Daddy. I'm not Cody. And I said, what's Mommy's name? I don't know. And I said, well, then start calling her Miranda.
Right.
I said, "It's
Her name's
Miranda."
Amanda.
Yeah.
Zion used
Amanda,
to
it's
think that
crazy.
Laura's name at Target was Laura. So like her name, everyone's mom, but at Target it's Laura because we would lose her, and I'd be like Laura. So I'm like Laura at Target. That's mommy's
Yeah.
That's
So.
her name. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Very
Our kids will
nice.
call Gio Giovanni.
name. Ooh.
They'll be like if they just are feeling something. Yeah, they'll be like, Giovanni, listen to me. And then we'll just start dying. Like they'll be in trouble and we'll be like, you're getting spanked. And then they'll say it and then we'll just start laughing and it's all ruined.
Giovanni, that
Yep.
is really funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Giovanni. Yeah.
It is his name though.
It is. That's what's the funny part.
Okay. What are you low-key always searching for?
Yeah.
The pronunciation of her name really is
Right.
I'm
The
always
real
trying to
one.
figure that out.
Anytime. I'm always looking for food.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish is that normal? I feel like don't we all? But I'm
Animals,
always
yeah.
just grazing anything. My kids do it too, and I think it's annoying when they do it. But like just back to the fridge, like anything new since the last time I checked, and there's usually not.
Good ranch. Good ranch.
Oh.
Yeah, searching
Oh.
out the good ranch. Yeah. 'cause
What's
we
the best
know
ranch?
Lazy Moon has the best ranch.
For
Yeah,
real?
Lazy
Is that a
Moon.
hot take or
Yes, Lazy Moon. Wingstop has really good dipping sauces
Wingstop
in
has
general,
yes.
but
No, I won't.
good ranch. Like
Yeah.
there's some places that I won't get like fries or something like that because like, oh, they're ranch bad.
Oh, because you do ranch with fries.
Yeah, yeah.
Not ketchup.
What are
ranch
bad
with-
ranches?
Oh my gosh.
Gators?
Ale
How
House
do you
has
feel about
bad
Gators?
ranch. Gators is bad ranch.
Yeah, watery.
Chili's actually might be one of the best.
I'm really gonna hit for
Not
Chili's.
I don't know because I need you to affirm it, but
I mean,
it's got to be some of the best
Pastor
ranch.
Cody can talk about some chili.
Dude,
You love Chili's.
I need the ranch with a diving board. Yeah, like
It's thick. Is that what you
it's
look for?
delicious. No, it's just so good.
You just flavor.
Don't they have the avocado ranch at Chili's?
Yeah, it's pretty
Did I
good.
make that up?
Yeah, they do.
don't know.
It's like some avocado lime thing, but
I'm always
Don't worry
just
about it,
searching
yeah.
in my backpack for something because my backpack has turned into a bit of a grandmother's purse type
Oh,
vibe. And
nice.
so we were at a meeting the other day and Danny Whitten said, do you have any ibuprofen? And of course, I'm like, of course I do. And somewhere in here, she goes, can I go get it? Or do you not want me to rummage through your backpack? I was like, well, you can rummage, but you will not find it. And so then it took me a minute. But
Was it
always,
there?
yeah, of course.
That's
Like,
good.
You always have
I have
that's the
different
thing.
kinds of medicines,
Oh, wow.
different kinds of chargers.
Always you've
different-
had that, or that's the grandma purse?
I don't know.
It's like
Maybe
age.
for a while.
Like,
my
that's-
backpack is
Yeah.
life.
All right.
Aw.
I'll know
It's
now.
like the grandpa pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always searching for good hair products. Like people say, what do you
I'm
do in
with
your
you
hair?
on
What do you do in your hair? And I'm just like, there's never a point that I'm like, oh, I'm satisfied. I'm
made
good.
it.
I'm like, I could always.
Really?
Yeah.
What's better? What's better? What's better? What's better?
Will
So,
you
like,
spend like anything?
Yes.
Any amount of money?
Yes,
hair
Good
product.
stewardship
Yes.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do tithe and give to Kingdom Builders.
And then my second
But
line
then
item.
I will spend on
Shampoo.
traveling and on hair stuff.
Yeah.
Everything else, I was like, I don't need it. Priorities.
Good.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Treasure is.
Does look good.
Your heart
so,
is
yeah,
also
good.
That's
worth
crazy.
it.
Come on.
Okay, what's the weirdest thing you've ever gone looking for and actually found?
All of my things are so lame. Like if I like the store, like just something that my kids needed on Facebook Marketplace. Like so, but I think a good one would be not me finding, but we go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan a lot to visit my grandparents. Not a lot, honestly, because it's so far. But my grandpa knows like the land, like he's a bear hunter, so he knows all the land, all the forests. It's kind of like undeveloped there. Actually, it's not like a tourist destination.
Mm-hmm.
So one time I went with Gio, and like we picked berries. Like we're just a bunch of little bears up there, like just rummaging through all the bushes. And so my grandpa knows every berry patch, like wild berry patches. So he like took us in his pickup truck. We got in the back of it, literally drove like an hour through the forest. Gio's like about to throw up, like off the side of the thing. I'm like, I love it. And then we just stop, and then there's just like all the berries. And he just knew exactly. And I mean, not on a GPS, not on a map. Like he just knows. And so I guess that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did they taste delicious?
Yeah, they're great. We just like eat them. Some we make pie, make jam. And sometimes the kids, they just eat them, and then they have berries on them when we leave.
Yeah, the weirdest thing as of late I've searched for was, you know how, I mean, because I couldn't find it anywhere, and I went on Craigslist. I haven't been on that in forever, but it was a toddler swing. We got
Okay.
Alora a swing set,
Okay.
and we found it on Amazon, but it was like, will come in 3 days, and we
Right.
just got done building the playground. So I'm like, well, she can't wait 3 days.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm messaging
She
everybody.
can't
So I
wait 3
found
days.
this guy literally an hour and a half away for this swing.
Was
and
it a
he was
specific swing?
Yeah, it's like the little toddler, so it's the little basket ones.
That you
Like
kind of
the
see the
little
legs
bucket,
and it
yeah,
holds
and you
you
could
in.
put the legs in and whatever. And so then Miranda talked to me often. She's like, "You're not going to drive 3 hours round trip to go find the swing." So,
You know what's
and then I looked
crazy?
at Alora. I said, "Well, that's why you don't have the swing today."
Oh,
It's
no.
She
because
didn't get it?
yeah, no, I didn't. She wouldn't. She's like, "You
Oh.
can't go, whatever." But I was like searching. I was doing all the keyword because I couldn't find it. I was like,
I
"Somebody
actually
has
have
this."
like 2 bucket swings that I've been trying to sell
Look at
on
this.
Facebook
No, stop.
Marketplace.
Communication.
Yeah, I don't know
Did
where
you
they
already
are
buy
now.
it? It's
I
already
left
been
them
Yeah,
with
yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's all too late. But I have because we set them up inside at some point for our kids, and then I
Oh,
literally was like,
thanks.
why does no one want these? Like on Facebook
Well,
Marketplace, I'm like, no one is
Cody
looking
does.
for
I
a
wanted
bucket
it.
swing.
Yeah, I wanted
So we
it.
should have talked.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, I was getting in the car, but I couldn't find it at all. I had to look up the real product, search the keywords. I couldn't find it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't ever find anything, but the thing that comes to mind is my previous set of golf clubs. One time I was playing, and I don't throw my clubs or bang them hardly ever. And then I didn't really throw. I hit my 7-iron, and I was disgusted with it, and so I would say I passionately placed it over towards the golf cart, and it just went in such a way that it just hit the handle, and the heavy part was up here, and the way the momentum took it, and the shaft broke. So I was like, "Oh man!" So then nobody else in the foursome saw it, so I didn't tell anybody. I just put the top of it in the bag and pretended whatever. Then I got to find a 7-iron that matches and a shaft that matches, and no one that day didn't make that shaft anymore, and so I did find one person selling one 7-iron of the same shaft.
Oh,
wow.
You know,
good.
yeah.
Yep.
So haven't broke any clubs since, and it wasn't of anger.
Yeah, it was a gentle way of saying you
Frustration,
broke your club.
This club is
Yeah.
It's
not
just
for
there.
me. Yeah,
That's-
okay. Want to make sure and get that out there.
Okay, sorry to bring up food since we are still fasting, but we have to. When looking for food, do you look for A, the best rated place, B, something random, or C, none of the above?
None of the above. Creature of habit. We go to the same restaurants
Mm.
every week, every day.
I'm
So-
passionate every week.
Seriously, yeah, it's nothing random. It's just literally we get in the car and it's like, which of the 3 that we go to do I want to go to today?
And you're 100% satisfied. Like this is
I
everything.
mean, I guess it's just the way we do life. so
What are
I'm-
the
I'm-
3?
Well,
Can't tell our secrets.
Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, probably Yuan Flats would still be in that mix, and there might be a couple extra. but yeah.
Okay.
So then that's all we do. So there's
And that's
no
it.
searching for the new hotspot really for us.
Yeah.
At least we know we're gonna like it.
Yeah.
I usually will just, if someone recommends a place, it'll be that. Like, if I look it up, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like ratings are all a lie, right? I don't know if anyone else feels that way. But yeah, if someone
I feel like
says you
most
have
people
to try,
think ratings are 100% Bible.
Really? I feel like they're all
Particularly
like,
two friends that you had, like, oh,
I mean, when I'm
Yelp
traveling,
reviewed, I have to.
that's true.
like you look at those
Yeah.
stars.
And they're
Yeah.
pretty good. I mean, so maybe sometimes, but yeah, if someone's actually gone there and tells me, then we'll go. Or honestly, like when we eat, we just like go to like Mills and 50 in that area of town, and we just eat everything that's there. Yeah,
Jeez.
anytime something's there or something new, that's where we eat. And our friends come, and it's great. We love it.
I've never been invited to that. I don't know what
I
happened.
invited you. Remember that
That's
time?
right.
But you were like, I gotta go Chipotle. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it's the same places nonstop. I would have to go without Miranda. Be like, if it's somewhere new,
Oh, you gotta
she's just
test
not
it.
gonna be, yeah, and then I'm gonna
Chili's,
get
I
it,
mean,
and she's not gonna like it, and then it's just gonna be
the
this
ranch
whole
is gonna be
thing.
bad.
Dude,
Right.
Chili's though, listen, I know the people that work on Narcoosie.
Their
Those are my
Chili's?
people. Yeah. We go there, and it's like by name.
So
Yeah.
you think you like a lot of things, and she's a little bit more
Yeah, like, I
not
just
liking?
already know. No, so she would be down, but I already know. She'd be like, "I don't like this." And I'll be like, "Well,
Mm.
awesome, because that was $26."
That was so much money
You
for
know what
you
I'm
to
saying?
hate
Yeah,
it.
so I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's great." Even Chipotle, we could go there, and she'll be like, "It just wasn't good this time." I'm like,
Oh, wow.
"Okay, now what?" So, yeah, we kinda stick to the same guaranteed good spots.
This season of prayer and fasting, we've done the FaithCast, and it's entitled "The Seeker," and this is our finale, and we are ending with the title "The Seeker Isn't Satisfied." The seeker isn't satisfied. So we'll be talking today just about how even though the series is over, the FaithCast is over, the fast and prayer it's over, but that doesn't mean that the seeker stops. Like, this is a continual life pattern. So my first question for you guys is, what does it mean to you that a seeker is never satisfied spiritually?
I think part of it is just, maybe this is going too big, but like God is so big, and we could spend our whole life knowing him and never really know him. So I think as you seek him more, you go like, oh, I've known him for 20 years. I don't know him at all,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
kind of just have this moment of like, the more you know him, the less you know him, and but it kind of like always makes you then hungry to be like, oh, there's more, when I'm
Yeah.
talking to students and they're like trying to fathom like, how will I follow God for the next 70 years? And I'm like, because you'll never get out of things that like, they're running, oh, I know you too much now, and
Yeah.
there's nothing new to learn. There
Yeah.
always is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think to tag off that, my answer is kind of the same. I had heard this quote a long time. It was like this guy. It was in a book, but it was like the more he was falling in love with Jesus, the more he realized he didn't love him the way that
Mhm.
he should.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's just kind of how I feel too. Like the more I'm falling in love with him, the more I feel like God puts a spotlight on like, yeah, but the more you could be
Mhm.
devoted to him, the more I could be flexible with my plans and giving it up to him for his plans, the more I could be a better husband and father, and the healthier place I could lead people. Like, I feel like every point I'm like, man, I'm really in love with Jesus right now more than what I was last year. I just still feel like God's putting that spotlight on areas where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and what about the love that I have for you in this, this, and this? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's just kind of this perpetual,
Yeah.
like, man, being better and growing in that and continuing to seek after him even more. Yeah.
I like when people quote song lyrics as if they were scripture, but so let me do that real quick. But the other night in one of our prayer nights, our worship team was leading us, and they sang the song, "I want to sit at your feet." But the verse of that is, "The more I seek you, the more I
Mhm.
find you. The more I find
Yeah.
you, the more I
The
love
more I
you."
love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had been a long time since I'd been around that song or whatever, and so
Yes.
that verse was getting me, man. Like, the more I seek you, the more I find you, the more I find you, the more I love you. So to me, that's the continual seeker heart. It's
Yeah.
like, no, mercies are new every day. It needs to happen daily. I mean, I was also thinking about, the manna from heaven. The instructions were, this isn't tomorrow's manna, this is today's
Yeah.
manna.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we get in trouble when we live off of yesterday's blessing, off of yesterday's word from
Yeah.
God, we're living off of yesterday's prayer time or like whatever. Like, I mean, you can go for a minute, like that, but you're not
Yeah.
at some point that lifestyle is going to lead. So we're always seeking, and I think we've been pretty diligent this year as we've been talking about this fast, is that it's not about these 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This is changing our course and changing our trajectory for our life,
Amen.
but certainly for this year.
I think what you said is so good too, because I think the people around us are deserving of a real and authentic relationship with him, like
Yeah.
a fresh relationship, like this old anointing type thing or this old whatever moment with Jesus is not going to be the thing to reach people today. Like
Yeah.
the fresh word from
Yep.
Jesus is today.
Mhm.
Like and I think the people even that don't know Jesus, they're deserving of a fresh word that you've gotten on God's behalf. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
And if we don't get that, I think sometimes that's how we are ineffective because
Yeah.
we didn't
Yeah.
get the fresh
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
So we are not being who we're supposed to be. We're not saying what we're supposed to say because we didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
we didn't seek him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember Chris Estrada came a couple years ago, and he said this like one thing that I've talked about ever since, and it's stuck in my mind. He was talking about like living on like the secondhand revelation of someone else, which
Yeah.
obviously like we try to be the best church ever, and so whoever's preaching is trying to give their firsthand revelation. But
Yeah.
if you only ever get that, or even as us who hear those things, like it's never going to be as good. And you probably will be satisfied because
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point you're coming and like, I wonder what Pastor Johnny's going to say today. And it's like, no, like what did God say to you?
That's
He's going to share
good.
what God said to
Yeah.
him, but there will be a point where you're dissatisfied in a wrong way if you
Mm.
don't just constantly seek for the firsthand. You want a firsthand relationship with God,
Yeah, I just recently read something about that the Old Testament, the priest would have to go through all these cleansings and to go into the presence of God. He would come out, tell you what God's doing, what
Mhm.
God's saying. And the fact that Jesus, opened the way for everybody to go
Mhm.
into the Holy of Holies and be in God's presence, the fact that we dismiss that,
Yeah.
the fact that we just go, I don't have time for that,
Yeah.
is just like, how is that possible
Mhm.
Yeah.
when, the Old Testament followers of God would have
Oh yeah.
would have died for that. They would have died for
Actually
it
died.
actually. But yes, and so today we have the opportunity to
Yeah.
literally go into his presence and go
Mhm.
into
Yeah.
to the Holy of Holies. And the fact that we just think that's no big deal
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
unimaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers gonna start or no,
No,
you're good.
it was a sermon I watched a long time ago, and they were like, how a church stops growing is when people are satisfied with the manager, not the founder.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
so satisfied with going to right. So in that role, what you're saying
Mhm.
would be, everybody's so satisfied with the words
Yeah.
just from you
Yeah.
that it's like, well, I could go to the founder
Yeah.
and have that moment. And
Yeah.
so that was when I heard that, I was like, that's good.
On that note, can you guys share a story in your life where your dissatisfaction led you closer to God?
Well, I'll say this: there have been, and I won't maybe not get too specific, but there have been seasons in my life where I become dissatisfied um, with the ground that the enemy possesses in my
Mhm.
life or in my family.
Oh.
And so it's not necessarily of I mean, there are times when I'm dissatisfied with just my passion for God as well, but there have been times, even the last couple of years where an attack will be happening in a certain way, and I'm like, that's not how
Yeah.
we're going to do this.
That's
Right.
Like
good.
the enemy does not have this authority in our life, in
Mm.
my family, and so that is a dissatisfaction moment of like, we're gonna pray, we're gonna fast,
Yeah.
and so there are seasons where I go to fasting and prayer that aren't first 21 days of the year because
Yeah.
I'm dissatisfied at the level of attack that is on, me, my family, this church, like
Yeah.
whatever. And so
Yeah.
that would, I mean, again, there are times when it's just my relationship with God and I figure out what that looks like, what I need to change up. But man, there are times when
Yeah.
it's attack motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think with that, sometimes for some reason our first response isn't prayer.
Yeah.
I guess because prayer is doing a work that you don't see, immediately versus like calling someone and getting
Yeah.
on the phone and what about the doctor, and basically like exhausting yourself trying to find all these answers when
Yeah.
as a believer you have the discernment of like, yeah, but this is also pretty spiritual.
Yeah.
Like the enemy is at work here.
Yeah.
And so really I feel like saying like prayer is fighting sounds good, but then when some starts to happen and your response is to pray, that's not always what everyone else would. They'd be like, "Well, dude, get up," and and you're like,
Yeah.
"No. Remember how we said like prayer is our weapon? No, it's it's really
Right.
our weapon." I remember in October, I was trying to think of the last like time like something big in October, the beginning of October, we had just moved into our new house. We had just had to go to like a funeral out of town, which is like a understatement. It was like several plane rides away. We came back. I think Gio got sick, maybe. I had just gotten a new coordinator. Devin had just started, so we were trying to do that. I had only been back from maternity leave for like a month. The voice conference was coming up. It was like the ruthless pursuit of hurry, like opposite of John Mark
Oh,
Comer's
yeah.
book. I was like, what are we doing? Like, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was telling everyone, I'm like, I feel like I'm a shell of a person, you guys. Like, I am just barely making it. And at some point of like sharing that out loud, I was like, oh wow, I'm like just barely making it right now. And I don't want to just barely make it. Like, if I'm barely making it, God's not near, like in my awareness. And so I just, I just started fasting. And I kind of was like, I'm not gonna put an amount of time on it because it's really not for a purpose. I was like,
Yeah.
I need
And turns out it was only like 2
yeah.
hours that
Yeah,
you
and then I was like,
passed,
"Oh, I
so it worked
skipped
out.
lunch and have a late one later." And so, it felt like and I think sometimes it's good to know that that's in you,
Yep.
Yeah.
like, because you can immediately get insecure, like, "Oh, I guess I'm not a Christian," like, "It's all a
Yeah.
waste of time." But then it was like my spirit inside of me was like, "We need to fast." And then when I did, it, like, all came into alignment and nothing changed about the situation. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't all of
Yeah.
a sudden like anything was less dire or emergent or there was less going on, but I was like, okay, yeah, like the Lord has re-entered the picture here.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels like, and it was awesome. Yeah,
And then that's where you get the actual peace and
yeah,
the actual confidence. When I've had moments like that, and I do go to him, like you go to all your people, and they go, everything's gonna be fine, and you're like,
right.
well, you don't know what you're talking about. But then you're going to God, and God's going, I'm still good. I'm still in
It's
control. I'm
good.
still sovereign. Then you go, oh, actually, maybe everything is going to be
Yeah,
fine because you actually sense that it's someone saying it that has the authority to say it in your life.
Yeah. Good.
yep,
Yeah, I think for me, it was the dissatisfaction in being the Christ follower that I knew God was calling me to be. I think that when I actually was like, I don't know, just had the moment of being like, I'm saying yes to Jesus for the rest of my life, like that type of thing.
yeah,
There's just that war of like maybe some seasons of being on fire, or maybe some seasons of whatever. And I would look at other people and I'd be like, wow, man, they're really doing it, and I just have to stop choosing whatever, like fill in the
Yeah.
blank. And so I feel like that even now, like there might be somebody listening to this right now, and you're just at war or dissatisfied with like, um, maybe after the fast, you're scared of after the fast. Like, maybe I'm gonna go back to being the person I used to be or whatever. Now just say, man, it's that choice to say, you know what, I'm not going to, and you don't have to. Like so,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
there'd be a season in my life where I'd be dissatisfied with who I was as a Christian, like
yeah,
dissatisfied with um not being a resource to my friends because I don't know, they're like, can't go to him because he's not really kind of I don't know, kind of on the fence or whatever
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
even looks like. Um, and so I would say it's easier to say, you know what, I'm gonna choose to really live for him, hungry, and everything else is just gonna be go to the wayside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but that was a big wake up call for me of being like, you know what, no, I've really got to choose this, and I'm gonna own it, and let's do this thing. So
yeah,
yeah,
I feel like sometimes it is kind of like that, like just life just happens.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like the day to day isn't anything crazy or insane. And you're just like, wait a minute, why do I feel kind of empty or I feel dry? Like I prayed, I went to church, and sometimes we just have to try a little harder. You know
yeah,
what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's
yeah,
like, that's, I say that in quotes because it's like, God's grace is freely given, free whatever,
yeah,
but you just have to be a little bit more open,
I
yeah,
say it
you know?
this way. I say like do something different. Like
Yeah.
mix
right.
it
Yeah,
up
it's changed
because
up.
the routine I think is what sometimes can mute the spiritual benefit
Yeah.
because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I do this every morning at this time, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like, yeah, at least mixing it up and moving some times around in your life and changing
mm,
the way you
yeah.
seek him, like well, that goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you guys stay hungry for God?
I think it's definitely not what we would all want it to be, which is like an addiction. You know,
Okay.
like we all want to get to a point where I prayed enough
Funny.
that
That's
like
good.
now I'm addicted and it's now not my choice. Like
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, like or addicted to Jesus. Like that was the
Yeah.
song back in the day.
Oh, sing
Is
it.
that Carmen?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A to J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you have issues with Carmen's
And
theology.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna email him pretty soon.
I think he passed.
Okay, well,
He did?
that's
Didn't he? He had cancer.
Oh, wow.
Still sending
But they're
emails.
making
Maybe
a,
the Lord, I don't know.
they're making a movie about his life.
Took a
Really?
crazy
Oh,
turn.
yeah. I think
Oh,
so.
I didn't
honest,
bring him
that
up.
could be
Yeah.
a great movie.
Well, I'm gonna see it.
All right. Anyway,
I'm
sorry.
definitely gonna see it now. So,
Yvette.
what was I gonna say?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Addicted to Jesus.
You know, like maybe over the Daniel's fast, you realize you have a sugar addiction, and it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I was like, I needed this, and I didn't even know it, and God's not like that, really. Like,
Oh.
there's a reason the Bible describes our relationship with God a lot like a marriage, you know, because it is so good and it is so worthy of your time, and He is so holy, but you have to choose. You know, like
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I like vegetables, you know, in my life, but like I've never felt addicted to them, you know, but like
Yeah.
I know their benefits. I know I should like them. And so part of it, I think, staying hungry for God is avoiding some of those more addictive things that just steal His place in your life. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, just the pure amount of media that we consume. You know, you're basically giving into that sugar addiction, and then you don't have time for like anything nutritious. And so I think a lot of staying hungry for God is just eliminating like
Yeah.
so much of what, and I mean, I don't know, in our society, it's probably like 90% of the things we do at this point
Yeah.
and how we spend our time, because then you're like, oh yeah, God, like he's worthy, He's good. And I do want to spend time with Him. But I think for me, a lot of it is just turning off so
Yep.
many
Yeah.
different things.
But
So,
it's true. It's hard to like just even enter into, I don't know, you had a long week.
Yeah.
Worship in there. Pastor
Yeah.
John's leading worship, and you're just like,
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
And you're just already, you know, like just full of Netflix and full of work and full
Yeah.
because the car broke down,
Yeah.
and then the homework with just all
Mhm.
that. And it's just, you know,
yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. And
you
even
know?
stress, even being stressed can be more addicting than like sitting in God's presence. It can be something that you're like, no, I'm used to this level of like
Yeah.
adrenaline and whatever, like to just sit. I mean, for most people, sitting in
It's
Still.
any
itchy.
kind
Yeah.
of silence is like, okay, when is it over? You know,
Yeah.
but that is that's what I've done a lot. Obviously, I'm never in a quiet environment.
Right.
And so when I do, like in the car, like I've just stopped listening to music pretty much, because that's my only time to like just sit in God's presence, even when I'm
Yeah.
driving. But, you know, I usually don't even talk. I just am like, okay, God, I'm here, speak to me. So,
Yeah, I think it's to even have the appetite.
Yeah.
So that which is exactly what you're talking about. Like, it's crazy that I could be in the car with Miranda talking about food. We're circling back to food, and I could be in the car and she could mention a place, and I would be like, "Now I'm craving."
oh,
that."
yeah.
Isn't it crazy that that little bit of a convo
That's so good.
is like now oh, that is the best
Yeah.
choice, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
turn the car around and go do that. And I
Yeah.
just think talking about it, I think having friends in your life
Yeah,
to
that's so
fan
good.
that, to mention, hey, this is where we're gonna go. This is
Mhm.
what God's been speaking in my life. It stirs up this hunger in your like an appetite to see it happen for you too.
Mhm.
And so I just believe like isolation will kill you, but man, having people around you to fan that flame of like, man, what is God speaking to you in your life? Like, that's why I mean, my friend Richard, which he did internship here, is like incredible. But dude, I could pick up the phone and start talking to him at Jesus things right away. And it
Yeah.
just, when I get off the phone with him, I'm like, man, either I will celebrate the things God's doing in his life, or I'll feel convicted as to why he's sharing something that might not be feeling or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just so beneficial. So it is that appetite, like, and if you don't have that appetite, then you're full of something else.
Yeah.
That's so
And
good.
it's hard to be
Yeah.
like, man, what am I going to cut out?
Psalms says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good."
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
like getting that initial taste, and when you turn the car around to go to the place that you're now craving, if you eat 4 bags of Doritos on your
Yes.
way to that
Yes.
place, doesn't matter
You
how
don't
good
want
that
it.
food
Doesn't
is,
matter,
you don't
yeah.
want it anymore. And so,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
back to the idea of like at some point,
good.
if I want to stay hungry for God, I can only consume so much into my spirit, consume so much
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
my heart, and
Yeah.
consume so much into my brain. So I have to make the decision of like, all right, I'm gonna not do that. I'm not gonna consume that. That's gonna make me hungry for something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn and let God be the one that fills that appetite.
So
Oh.
good. It's I keep thinking about just having people around. I think people underestimate that. Just have
Yeah.
like God conversations.
Yeah.
Like with people, you're around the positive people, the right people. And it's true. When you to have the right conversation, it makes you want to go, I want to go pray now. Or
Yeah.
I want to read my Bible.
Yes.
Or I'll see, I don't know, like
Mhm.
it does challenge you
Yeah.
Yeah.
in such a good and positive way.
When somebody comes and talks to me and they'll be like, I mean, which they'll be like, man, I'm going through this, this, and this, which is, I'm like, dude, I'm happy that you feel like you can come to me, right? But one of my first questions is like, who do you have in your corner?
Mm-hmm.
You know, who do you have with you propelling this? And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, even in the secular world, they don't even have to be a Christian. 9 times out of 10, they say, yeah, it's just me. And it feels like it's just whatever. And I'm like, well, no wonder your thoughts are owning you and you feel this way and you feel lost and whatever. And so it's happening in the world and it's happening to Christians. And we can't allow that to be the thing of being like, where's your community?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any.
Yeah.
That's not what God intended. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So good. How do you guys handle seasons where your efforts to grow feel a little bit stagnant? And I feel like because a lot of people like the fast will be done,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then we're like, it was just a high and it was so great. Like first service of the year, everyone always comes to church. Everyone has those New Year's resolution. I'm gonna come to church all year,
Mm-hmm.
and they come the first week back, second week, and the third week like, how do you guys handle, or what's your advice for people to handle those seasons that it's just, I don't know, you just feel stagnant, kind of stuck.
I think, I mean, he said it before, like just trying something new, like change up some part of your routine. Like, yeah, if you're here, like maybe go to the 12 o'clock service instead of the 10. Like, I don't know, just change up the time of day, change up the method. Like, what kind of Bible are you reading? I do think like that's so important. This is random, but like having a really good Bible, like a paper Bible that has notes and study things. Like I remember finding the NLT Life Application Chronological Bible, and I tell everyone all the time, I'm like, I think I bought it like 10 years ago, and it changed everything about how I see the Bible. I love reading the Bible, like just daily devotional. Like I know I'm literally just starting and ending, like beginning of the Bible, end, and then you kind of realize like a lot of books were written at the same time, and so that's why didn't I just read this? You're like, you did. And so I don't know, like something like that, like just go do something like that and lean into it, try it for a little bit, you know, not just an hour, but like I think that can make all the world difference.
yeah, I feel pretty proud of myself. This past year, I read 8 books,
Let's
and I've
go.
like never been near that at all, like ever. So, um, and that's something that's new to me. And so I don't know, it was the changing the things up, it was whatever. And so and I wanted to grow in that. Like, so it could be leadership or I mean all the above. I mean, which a lot of them are the leadership-esque type. But man, it's like what can I add to my life that I've never done before or that I need to be even more in tune with. I would say hop in a class or come up with your
Mm-hmm.
growth plan now
Yeah, that's good.
when you're on fire for it. It's like sign up for the thing that you've been wanting to sign up for and you just naturally wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up when you're ready for it, like
Yeah.
now in this season, because it's just gonna set you up later. You're gonna get this email of, hey, bro classes or whatever it
Yeah.
is starting up soon. And you're like, oh man, I signed up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go to that and be so come up with the action step and actually follow through with that and be in that. And um and I think it'll be beneficial to your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
I
so many.
Go ahead.
We have so many classes
Yes.
and
Oh,
things
yeah.
and
Yeah.
connect groups, and you know, and even
Yeah.
if you don't know, like
Yeah.
email the church. We will direct you.
Yeah.
Download the app. Like there's just so much stuff, and we don't do it because we need something else on our plate.
Yeah.
Like we have teachers and volunteers for like every walk of life, every area of life, every season you're in, and they're all super awesome.
Yeah.
So
I had a guy come up to me Sunday after church, and I spoke on kind of tithing, and then talked about that God's blessing comes on your life as a result of that. And so then the question he had was, okay, if I start this, how do I know if I'm walking in this blessing? Like if and I got the sense that maybe like he'd tithed before and isn't, incredibly wealthy yet or something like that. So I said, I think we miss the mark when we when we tithe, and then we looking up to heaven, going, "Where's the window opening now?" Because
Yeah.
I just did that. So where is it? Like that's where we missed the mark. And so like think of a verse like in Galatians 6, I think, where don't grow weary in doing good, because at the
Mhm.
proper time you'll reap a harvest.
Mhm.
So the question you asked was like, um, what if I don't feel? What if it feels stagnant when I'm doing it? Um, in one sense, we have to learn to not base everything we're doing on what it feels like in the
Yeah,
moment.
that's
Like,
good. Yeah.
does God pay off in my life if I seek Him? Yes.
Right.
Am I going to feel it the first day I do it or the 365th day I do it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Uh, but if I don't grow weary in doing good at His proper time, it's not
Yeah,
my
it's good.
timing. At the proper time, I'm going to reap
Yep.
the reward. And so I think obedience and relationship with God, we just have to like I think we will go through maybe some seasons where it doesn't feel like it once felt
Yeah.
or as we want it to feel. All the goosebumps aren't there or whatever. And maybe God's trusting us with a season like that to just
Yeah.
go, you're doing this because you love me and because you know
Yeah.
it's real, not because of
A
all the
result.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I do feel like every believer who's followed God for a while can tell you those seasons of
Yeah.
like, yeah, I didn't really feel it. I was just, but I just kept doing what I knew was right. And, I do think like maybe if you're in the situation where you feel like you really are doing all those things, it could just be like an underlying thing. Like I love Psalms when he prays, he says, search me and know my anxious thoughts. And then he says, point out anything in me that offends you. And I think that that is always good. Like if you really feel stuck, but you're doing all the things you've always done, like, okay, Lord, point out anything in me that offends you. Kind of like, you tell me.
Yeah.
I tell
Yeah.
that to God a lot. I'm like, God, I'm crazy. Like, why? Like, what's going on with me? Like, you tell me about me.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes
good.
that is it. Like, there is that forgiveness that, it's like that person's popping in your head and you're like, I'll get them out of here. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, you need to probably call them and have that combo, And so sometimes it is just a matter of kind of, there's like this idea that when we follow God, like, He's always going to be so confrontational with us and like force us to like confront, do. But at the same time, like God knows what we're ready for and God knows what we're
Yeah.
willing to do and He knows our heart. So there's some times where you have to invite Him in and go, Lord, is there anything like going on that maybe I need to figure out? And then He'll say, kind of tell you and walk you through it and, like also prepare your heart to go through that. Because sometimes you're going through a boring season and then
Yeah.
God tells you to do something that's opposite of boring, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, let's just like reel it back. Like, let me take that prayer back because I wasn't even ready for what, now I'm
Yeah.
walking into.
I think a lot of it really is about discipline.
Yeah.
And I think we hear that word and it's such a scary, unsexy word.
Mhm.
But I feel number one, that's why fasting's so important because it
Yeah.
is a discipline.
Yeah.
And if you do it on the other side of things, you're like, wow, I did that. What else can I do? Um, in our brain, I think, but also like I think everyone is disciplined about at least one thing in their life,
Yeah.
whether it's the gym
Oh.
or whether it's that's Johnny,
Hobbies.
can't get him out of the gym. Whether it's their health, whether it's their studies, whatever it is. And I feel like that action of discipline can transfer to like our spiritual life. Because we will be disciplined in certain aspects, but when it comes to things of God, like, oh, well, I don't feel it. I give up. I quit. I'm like, no, like it is. You have to just keep going. It's a steady, consistent relationship.
Yeah.
And I said it like if you could do it with the gym or you could do it with your food or you could do it with your diet or you could do it with fill in the blank, then you can do it with your spiritual walk.
Yeah.
Until it becomes just a part of you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think on that note, do you guys think persistence, like keep on keeping on, is it more about discipline or more about patience or both?
I think that, I mean, it's
neither.
definitely both, but I think that the discipline precedes the patience. Like sometimes we are like, I'm just waiting on God. I'm just waiting on God. It's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you do the thing, you start the thing, and then you wait. And it's kind of what you said. Like you're like, how do I know if I'm doing the right thing? It's like, well, you know what the right thing is. Like you have the Bible, you have God's voice, you have community in church. So like it's right. Like you're not praying the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like it's right. So now just be patient, keep doing it. It's kind of like the whole like investing thing, like put the money in there and forget it's there and it'll be $1 million one day. And it's like no one does that. Like you invest in retirement or whatever, and you look like every month and you're like, oh, it's doing terrible. Like, what a bad decision, but you're supposed to wait for 60 years or whatever. And then I don't know the
60
time.
years.
Probably not 40 years. I don't know.
However
Oz
long.
Dave. Yeah.
I think it's persistence. Like, I think that it is true. Like, the people I'm waiting on the Lord, you can do something while waiting.
Yeah.
And there's just this verse in the Bible that I've got to look and see exactly where it is, but it just really was like, let this be something to you that, but it's a man that puts his hand to the plow and looks behind him isn't fit for the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And dude, like, I just always in every area of my life for years now, it's been like, man, I don't want to even look at the other things, like this is what I'm doing until God says, hey, this way or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Like, and I'm just gonna keep doing the thing. Like, I'm gonna keep my hands here. I'm not even gonna, I don't know, it's just this diligence of working. Like, even the
Yeah.
disciples that were called, I mean, almost all of them were working in the moment when that happened. And so I think that there is this persistence, and yeah, I'm waiting to hear from Jesus, but I'm gonna keep doing this. It's not a season off or a break or whatever, but it is, and I'm gonna say yes to serving, say yes to this, say yes to that, because it is that uh waiting and working at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's both. I'll go on the patience side since we talked a little bit more about discipline. But the one thing about patience is staying at it long enough to see a little bit of the payoff or a little bit of the reward. Because boy, that's motivating. Like, I mean, y'all knew me back when, but I had a little stretch in my life where I lost like 40 pounds or something like that. And every time I'd step on the scale and then that number would be lower, I found a couple of them since then, the ones I lost. But every time I stepped on the scale,
It took me a second.
not all of them.
Dad joke.
No,
Oh my
but I found a
God.
couple of them.
Somewhere.
But every time I stepped on the scale, it was so motivating because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not eating anything today because look,
Yeah.
This is,
so
yeah.
I think there's a little bit of patience there where I've been persistent in seeking God, and there will be moments where you go, oh
Yeah.
man, God spoke to me today, or man, God used me in a cool way, or He answered this prayer that I've been praying about. Well, those are cool, motivating moments
Yeah.
to go, oh,
Yeah.
this persistence thing works.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's some kind of quote about momentum, like it makes you seem better than you
Yeah.
are, or something. Like once you catch it,
Yeah.
and you do catch it with
Yeah.
discipline and patience.
Kind of almost our last question. What's your best advice you would give to someone who feels unsure on how to keep seeking?
I think schedule is a huge part of this, and just scheduling it in your life. I think a lot of us make the mistake of thinking that we'll get around to
Yeah.
some of the more important things in our life, and it's funny how the least productive elements of society are so easy to find, and
Yeah.
then the ones that actually produce something in your
yeah.
life are
Yeah.
so hard to ever get to. So, yeah, I think prioritizing and kind of scheduling some of that stuff. So what does that look like after a season of fasting and prayer? What do you want your prayer life to look like? What do you want your spiritual life? And let's put this in the schedule. How about being in environments where seeking is continually talked about and
Yeah.
encouraged and stirred up in me. And so, like, I mean, even being in church, scheduling that and prioritizing that, that's going to
Yeah.
go a long ways
Yeah.
because of all the other things I could be at. That's probably those environments aren't going to probably stir me in that way, like being in church wherever I go to church
Yeah.
is going to do it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, um, yeah, putting yourself in an environment where like maybe that what you thought was like a spiritual high is like actually kind of the norm. So I do think a lot of people after this fast could step into serving if they're not serving, or maybe a leadership if they're not already, and volunteering in some capacity, because you are just kind of like you're shoring up your schedule. You're like, at least this many times a week I'm gonna check in with this person, or I'm gonna be in this group chat where we're doing this, or I'm gonna be serving here. And when I'm serving here, I get to talk to people about what God's doing in my
Yeah.
life. Like literally, like I always like trapping yourself in your schedule, committing to something that okay, people are gonna know if I'm not coming. People are gonna, like there's gonna be a bar set for me. And it's a little bit of that, like tapping into your own self, maybe competitiveness or motivation of just, yeah, people are here now, and this is who I want to be like. And so I'm going to put myself consistently in environments, and I'm going to change maybe things in my schedule that would keep me from being in those environments. I'm going to make a sacrifice. I think sometimes we think that, like, I don't need to sacrifice anything, because like God is that good and magical that, it's all going to work out. And it's like, no, you might need to not do 7 classes at UCF this semester if you really want to make growing in God a priority. Like, it's not bad, but let's just look at the time you have. So yeah, I think environment and your schedule.
So good.
I would say being super proactive on inviting Jesus in every situation. There was somebody I talked to this last week, and is new to Jesus, saying yes to him and all the above. And I had said, I was like, so how's prayer been at the house with your family and stuff? He was like, oh, I haven't done that yet. And I was like, oh man, but you got to do, like, if you do that, it's just this other lane and avenue of making that a routine. And like, this is what happens in our household. We pray together, we whatever together. Your kids are going to see that. Like, I was just going on. I'm like, so it's inviting him into every situation, every circumstance, maybe even ones that kind of scare you, where it's like, man, that's weird. I've kind of got my relationship with Jesus, me and him. But then it's like, yeah, but I think he's also calling you to bring that and pour that over into your family where it's all together. Like, it's somebody you go to the gym with, we'll invite him into that too. And so I think it's just so beneficial to invite him in every area. Once you do, it'll really challenge you. And I think will bring, family specifically even more, but it really will bring that into a new season, a new level per se.
Good.
And ranch.
And
A
ranch.
bit of ranch.
The ranch is actually the best
You get
part.
that too. Invite them in on that also.
Give them the recipe. Do you make your own ranch?
No, I should honestly
Okay,
at this
it can't
point.
happen. Yeah.
I also think one of the big things too, and especially like usually at the end of prayer and fasting, I don't know, besides the basics and the disciplines, I think that people need to like kind of go back to the last thing God told them also.
Yeah.
Like, if there is disobedience in their life, or that lack of like, oh, he told me to start serving and I'm scared, or I started starting point, but like that, maybe a little bit of shame or a little bit. I'm like, in Jesus' name, be freed from that. Like, don't, who cares about the past? Like, move forward, like go back to that initial, that class, that direction, that conversation, like do that. And watch how God just, I don't know, just moves and stuff. But I feel like too many of us kind of get stuck in that, going back to that last direction that God told us and just kind of push it away. I'm like, but go start. It's a new year. Who cares? Like, go back to that last thing that he told you. Surprised.
There's a couple, I don't know if you guys do this, but there's a couple of prayers that I started praying over myself, but now I kind of pray it over people often. But one is, God, make me uncomfortable with being comfortable with you. That's one, where I never fall into a season of being like, you know what, this is the norm and I'm just kind of cozy in it. Like, God, like move me around if that's something that I do. And then the other one, which now I just slipped my mind, so that's fun. The other one
really only one.
is
because you haven't had enough ranch.
I know, literally, God make me uncomfortable. Oh, and then it was the God remind them the love that they had for you when they first said yes to you. And it's that too, even in my life. It's like, God, remind me of what it was like when I first said yes to you. Like, also remind me of the person I used to be too, to celebrate the things that you've done in my life. And I think that will just motivate you even more to be like, you know what? Like, thank you, Jesus, for saving me. Thank you for whatever, finding the joy in serving. Maybe you've been serving for 50 years, right? And it's like, God, remind me of when I first said yes to you, and that urgency as well. And so those have been super beneficial to me too, and praying it over people and myself.
That's so good. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode, and thank you guys for joining us this season of the FaithCast. Remember, the seeker, it is a lifelong pursuit. Seekers never ever satisfied. I hope you guys had an amazing season. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.